Hi, welcome back to the channel. So here we are on the Gold Coast inland, getting warm. Got my microfiber cloths over top of my panniers. I find it draws a bit more attention to the bike, and I don't mean like I put them on there to have people look at my bike and go, oh wow, that's a nice looking bike. I mean, it sort of becomes more visible and puts a slight doubt in people's minds that it could be a police vehicle, So that gives anything that draws people's eyes to anything means we've got more chance of seeing you, and hopefully we're not psychopaths that just want to kill you. So here's a tip: when you've got a big bike with traction control that can cut in, you've got the traction control on. I mean, I'm in sports mode. I wasn't standard mode. Now we're going to have a traction control on, Now you do not want to be diddly-dallying and not concentrating and have your wheel turned as you take off, Or even after. You need to keep the wheel dead straight when and it's good practice anytime, but especially when you're in gravel, because this gravel here could get suddenly deeper. So we need to keep that clutch feathered, We need not to just have the bike trundling away from stop and just trundling through the gravel to get back onto the road. I'm not saying you've got a wheel stand or power slide it back onto the road. That's not smart or safe either. I just mean a little bit of revs, modulate your clutch, get ready to modulate your clutch, because what can happen is if that gravel's just a little bit deeper than where you took off, and we're just we're going, we're just going like you were rolling out of a car parking space, and you know what I mean. Your bike can stall where it wouldn't stall on a smooth surface. Whether that's for traction control kicking in, because we've gone into gravel and that's a slight, these are very sensitive, these traction controls, and it's cutting the power, And all of a sudden, where your bike shouldn't have been anywhere near stalling, because you're trundling away. I mean, you can idle these bikes at a very low speed when needed. We all know that. But because your tyres have encountered, all of a sudden gone from smooth gravel, shallow gravel, just maybe to a coarser type of gravel in a space of 3 yards, And you got your wheel turned, because this is the easiest thing you can possibly do, just take off and get back on the road, Within reason, as long as the road's got a smooth ledge on it when you go from gravel to. But let's say if everything even, that should be smooth. It should be not much different from just pulling out of this driveway on the right, back on the road. But it can bite you in the backside. So just my advice is keep your wheel straight when you pull away. I mean, it's good practice any time when you're pulling away, when you're starting up and pulling away. Is modulate, keep your clutch and go, modulate your clutch as if you were, so you can increase the revs, like here. I'm not explaining very well, so I'm modulating the clutch here. I'm just keeping it on just in case. You know what I mean? Just in case them revs, for whatever reason, and it was going to stall while I'm leaning out. So, same philosophy coming out of a gravel lay-by or car park even. A car park. You think, this is nice and smooth, and you might be on your phone to your missus or talking into a YouTube camera, or just, looking down at your dashboard. And just dawdling, just dawdling out, You've got your wheel turned because you haven't been really, your mind's not there right on the, why would you worry, you're only taken off. You need to keep the wheel straight, modulate your clutch, And remember, the traction control might kick in and just stall your bike, So wheel straight, modulate your clutch. The very time if a bike is going to stall and it's not in 100% condition, the fuel, the top, whatever it is, it'll be when you go to take off. We all know that in a car or a bike, because we're going at 0 speed, more inertia is required to get the bike going. And all of a sudden we've gone from smooth gravel, we just took off, and it goes to deeper gravel, and it stalls. Whether it is a traction control that's caused it to stall, ABS even, combination. So it pays to get the revs up and the throttle modulate it. And probably as people listening say, what the fuck's he talking about? Well, it can happen to anyone. Have a look on YouTube and have a look at how people tip the bikes over, and a lot of it's when people have stopped, they put the front brake on too hard and the fork rebound and the bike's still turned. So there's another tip. Coming to a stop on any surface, if you've come to a stop and you've sort of compressed those front forks, do not let go of a lever until you're balanced. So if your wheel's turned and you're putting the brake on, don't just let go when you come to a stop, like doom, and let go, because you'll tip over. So what we have to do is bring your weight back this way. So if your wheel's turned, bring your back and try and straighten that wheel up, or alternatively really keep that front brake on so the forks are still compressed, and just shift your body weight, might slide to the opposite side, and gently, and when you feel as though you've got the bike to a degree, because you don't want to keep leaning that way, it'll just tip over. You lean back this way, you can let go of the fork, so let go of the brake and try and straighten up. Ideally, you would be trying to straighten up and let go, be straight and let the brake go. But definitely do not let the brake go straight away, or you'll just tip over. So that's my take on those very basic, but you could ride for 2 years and never tip your bike and or 5 all your life. But those little basic things can trip us all up. I was a returning rider. I had a break from riding, and about 2 years ago I got back into bikes. I've had 4 bikes since then, and I tipped a Kawasaki versus 650 over by doing that. Coming to a stop, my wheel turned. They're 218 kilos, so they're slightly heavier than this. Wheel slightly turned, had putting too much brake pressure on my front brake, and braked. Couldn't keep the weight up, let go of the brake, and the bike tipped over. A heavy bike, anything over 190 kilos, but they tip before you even can blink an eye, When they're going to tip, they tip, and especially with panniers on. I've got panniers, and this is it's all experimentation. People say, and I've taken my top box off after riding 36,000 kilometers with the same top box on 2 different bikes on my Transal 23, and I took it off because I didn't like the bloody decelerate and wobble that resulted with having a top box, and with the panniers it seemed to be amplified. So I thought, okay, conventional wisdom is have your panniers, have a weight low down, don't overfill panniers, but better than having a top box. The thing is, it seems to handle better. I feel more like the bike is more balanced. But if we think about it, when it comes to stop, if a bike's off-roading, if a bike's slightly tipped over, it's going to go over a lot quicker when you've got like 8-10 kilos on each side, eh? So the side that your bike's leaning, and you got an extra 10 kilos hanging down. I can't see that's too good for keeping your bike upright, eh? So that's a negative of having panniers. But the positive is that when you do drop your bike, well, if you keep your panniers reasonably filled up, you've got protection there, eh? So it stops the bikes like the BMWs, the GSs, but they don't tip all the way. They've got the giant panniers on them. They don't tip over. But
it's a festive season in the Ozzy bush. Riding my motorcycle, it's such a rush. Santa Claus kangaroo sled might just come around the next bend. I'll give him a wave and beat my horn, give him the finger, have a lend. Oh, it's Christmas time, they haven't banned it yet. Gonna ride my bike to beat the blues. Yeah, riding a motorcycle is the best bet. Have a merry Aussie Christmas time. Have a merry Aussie Christmas time. But remember, on blind corners, take the middle two gutter lines.